Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to the third lecture on design of experiment. So in the last lecture, we discussed that how we can prepare a ANOVA table using Excel. And due to some technical glitch, I am not able to demonstrate the ANOVA table in Minitab. So today we first see that how we can prepare a ANOVA table in Minitab, and after that we'll move further. Okay, so in the last lecture we have prepared this ANOVA table. This is a step for preparing ANOVA table, and this is a final ANOVA table that we have prepared using different formula. So what we do, first we copy this data in Minitab software, then you have to go to statistics, ANOVA, linear, fit linear generate. And that what is our responses? So this is our response, and A, B, C, D are our factors. Sorry. And A, B, C, D are our factors. So here only four terms are there. So we want to include all the remaining term. So we have to select this four, then select over here, and you have, so it will give you all the combination of the variable. And when you press OK and again press OK, it will create a ANOVA table for you. So when you compare this value with when you compare this adjusted sum of square, adjusted amide, f value and p value, it will exactly same as the value that we found over here. See, the a value is 0.000789, so it's approximated to 0 over here, and the b value is 0.198, so this b value is 0.198. Okay, so this way you just have to create this, just copy the our factorial design over here. You have to go to ANOVA table, then linear, and you have to fit, then you have to insert the responses and the variable. Then this way you can able to figure out the ANOVA table, and this is a coefficient that we found over here. That's a effect sum of square and estimate. So now you must wonder that why we are doing all this stuff in Minitab and Excel. So in the last lecture you also must thought that why we are doing this stuff, what is the need for it. So now we see the use of ANOVA table. So ANOVA is basically referred to as the analysis of variance. It used to compare difference of mean among more than two groups. It does this by looking at the variance in the data, and where that variance is found specifically, ANOVA compared variation in the data where that variance is found specifically in ANOVA, compare the amount of variation between group with the amount of variation within group. It can be used for both observation and experimental study. And mathematically, ANOVA can be written as xij is equal to mu I plus epsilon ij, where x are the individual data point, I and j, individual data point, I and j denotes a group, and the individual observation, epsilon is the explain epsilon is the unexplained variation, and the parameter of the model mu are the mean of each group. Thus, each data point xij is its group mean plus error. In the Now we see the hypothesis testing. So here, like other classical statistic tests, we use ANOVA to calculate the test for F ratio, or we can say F value, with which we can obtain the probability, which is also known as the p value of the obtained data, assuming the null hypothesis. A significant p value usually taken as p less than 0.05, which is also we must see that this data is taken or considered with a 95% confidence level. So by considering that 95% confidence level value, we're doing this analysis. So a significant p-value, usually taken p less than 0.05, suggested that at least one group mean is significantly different from the other group. Means it gives that the variation in the mean value of two different groups is at least more than 5%. And null hypothesis represent all the simple means are equal, and alternative hypothesis, which at least one population mean is different than the rest of. Okay. So now you must thought that what is the use of this p-value. So any specific value of degree of freedom and sum of square, from these two value we have one table in that for any specific value of that, and from that we can find the p-value, which is follow the normal distribution. So if the obtained value from the table is greater than this p-value, then it's fall in this particular range, and we have to ignore that particular combination. And if it is less than this p-value, it falls in the left side of this graph, and we have to take and consider that value in our calculation. So this way ANOVA table can help us to predict that which combination or which interaction is more significant to the response than the other one. Okay, now we see we have seen the regression equation. So basically regression equation obtained from the regression analysis. Now I will explain what is the use of regression equation. So regression analysis is a reliable method of identifying which variable have an impact on a topic of interest, or we can call it as a response variable. So the process of performing the regression analysis allows you to confidently determine which factor matter most, which factor can be ignored, and how this factor influence in the response variable. Moreover, the regression equation can help you to figure out if your data can be fit to the equation or not. So this is extremely useful if you want to make a prediction for your data, either for the for either future prediction or indication of some past behavior. For example, if you want, for example, you might want to know what's your saving are going to be worth in the future, or you might be want to predict how long it will take to recover from due to illness. Okay, so here I have taken two different data. So x is vary from 1 to 10, and y is any random number that I generated. and this slope I have obtained from this different value, and this y is the interaction. At what value it interacts in the y-axis. Okay, so this is simple. I have used a Excel formula in order to do that. You can also doing it manually using that standard maths formula. So by using these two table, by using these two data, I plot this graph, and I have generated the I have generated the regression equation using this trail line command. Okay, so this is a regression equation. So from this you can predict that we have data up to 10, up to x value of it, up to x is equal to 10. So if you want to predict what is the value of y at x is equal to 12, then we can predict this data. So this way our regression equation will help us to predict the data in which we have not conducted the experiments. Okay, now we will see the blocking. So blocking effect. So I already explained you 2 raised to k factorial design. If you don't go through it, so I suggest you to first see my previous lecture. So in the interaction, I already explained you the 2 raised to 4 factorial design. In the interaction effect, in the 2 raised to 4 factorial design, some variable make a positive impact on the response variable, whereas some other make a negative impact on the variable. So this block effect will help us to know the impact variable is help us to know whether the particular variable gives a positive impact or negative impact. Okay, so here I have temporarily taken a 2 raised to 2 factorial design. So 2 raised to 2 will give you the 4 different combination. So here is the 2 raised to 2 factorial design. So a is -1, b is -1, and second is the a is 1, b is -1, and this way I have created the design. And the interaction will give you -1 into -1 will give you positive, and plus minus will give you minus, positive will give you plus. So if the interaction is negative, then so what we can do, we can combine all the positive interaction and all the negative interaction. So here 1 and AB is a positive, so we brought it over here, and negative 1 is A and B. So I common the minus and write in the bracket A plus B. So same way we can do the analysis for 2 raised to 3 factorial and 2 raised to 4 factorial. So in 2 raised to 3 factorial, this is a simple 2 raised to k design, and I have combined the ABC and I have written it down the ABC interaction. So here when we multiplied -1 into -1 into -1 will give -1, and same way I have multiplied these 3 row, and the multiplication of this I have written over here. So all the negative interaction I have written over here, and positive interaction I have written over here. Same way I have written it down for the 2 raised to 4 factorial design, and I briefly summarize it all the three 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3, and 2 raised to 4 factorial design over here. And so from this we can say that in all the factorial design we can found the equal number of variable which is give the positive, which will give the positive impact on the response variable and the negative impact on the response variable. So same way, I have divided into the 2 different batch. Batch 1 includes the positive response, positive impact on the response variable, and batch 2 will give the negative impact on the response variable. Okay, now we talk about the response surface methodology. So till now we have seen the two-level k factorial design. This will give us the linear variation in the response surface response variable. Now let's consider a response variable which is not linearly varying. So in that particular case, 2 raised to k factorial design is not working. So when response variable is not very linearly, this central composite design and Volkswagen design is used to know the effect of variable on the response variable. Okay, so now we see the central composite design. So here I have shown two different kind of central composite design. Here I just add this one center level at the each two factorial design, whereas I added one a level at the at the outer side of the two and two level variable. Okay, so you must thinking that why this 1.4142 will give how we can write this value. So it basically give you the radius of a unit circle. So this is the center of a unit circle and this is the radius. So a length of this half of this line is 1. So if you draw the circle by giving a center, and so this will give you the one circle, and all the data point on the periphery of the circle will give you the 1.4142 value. Okay, so if you rotate this first central composite design, then it will transfer to the second central composite design. Okay, so what is the advantage with second central composite design? So it will give you the better understanding and better correlation of the data than the first one. Now we see the detail of central composition design. So what are the different combination that we can produce using the central composite design, that I will explain. So from this both figure we can say that there is a 4 corner points. So the value of corner point can be obtained using 2 raised to k. So here we have two variables. So 2 raised to 2 will give you 4. So here is the 4 corner point. Same way, in order to calculate the number of star point, the formula is 2 into k. So here we have two different variables. So 2 into 2 is 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. In every composite design, only one central point is there. That's why we'll call the central composite design. So this is for the two variable design. Now we see the three variable design. Okay, so instead of two variable, if we have a three different variable, then I have shown the design over here. Okay, now if you have this length, this whole length is supposed to, as then the center is this, from center of this line to this distance is 1. So if you put a center over here and draw the sphere, and the center of this sphere will become 1.616818. So the way we have calculated the radius of this circle, same way we have to calculate the radius of this sphere in 3D. Okay, and if you calculate the radius of this sphere, it will give you the 1.6818. Now we generalize this central composite design using number of variable. So suppose our number of variable is 2. So number of corner points that we get is 2 raised to k, which is 4. start point is 2 into 2 is 4 and central point is 1, and the rotationality factor is 1.4142 that we have just seen over here. Same way, if the number of variable is 3, so 2 raised to 3 will give you 8, 2 into 2 will give you 6, and central point is 1. So total number of combination will gives you 80. So 8 plus 6 is 40, and in every combination, in every design, we have to take a repetition of center point 4 times. So we have to take only one center point, but that particular set of combination we have to repeat 4 times in the experiment in order to increase the accuracy of our model. Okay, so if we have 4 different variables, then 2 raised to 4 is 16, and star point is 2 into 2, which is 2 into 4, which will give you 8. Center point is 1, and rotationality factor is 2 in that particular case. So total number of combination is 28. Now we see how we can create a CCD design. Means CCD refer to the central composite design in the Excel. Okay, so these are first we have to create this add these 4 corner points. So this will a -1 so I write it down over here. This one is a +1 -1, so I write it down over here. This is a -1 +1, so I also write it down over here, and this is a +1 +1, so this is a value. Now this point is a -1.414, and y value is 0, means second variable is 0. Same way you can write this value 1.414 and other value is 0. Same way you can just copy this data over here, and all the first variable is 0. So this way you will find this 2 point, and as I mentioned earlier, this center point value is 0 0, but in order to increase the accuracy of our model, we can at least repeat our central value for 4 times, but here I repeat my central value of 5 times. Now I think you understood the formulation of central composite design in Excel. Now same design we can create in in Minitab. So now we will see how we can create a central composite design in Minitab. So you have to go to first statistics, then design of experiment, then response surface variable, then you have to create a design. So by default it will give you the central composite design. So for the timing we have only 2 variable, so it gives you a different design. So we take this full factorial design which gives you a 30 run. So we have to just press OK. So sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, so this what I obtain from the Minitab. Now we compare this data with our obtained value. Okay, I think I copy some wrong thing. Just see, I copy the design that was obtained using Minitab. Now you must see that there is some difference between. Now you can see there is some difference in the order, but this order we can change uh, according to by sorting the data according to the standard order. So I just press 2. So now we can see, now you can see that the design that I've created using Excel and that I obtained using Minitab is exactly the same. See, this is a -1, here is a -1, -1, 1 plus 1, this way, this way. So this way we can create a design in Minitab, and if you want to plot organize in the standard order, so you have to go to in data sort. Before that you have to select these things, you have to go to sort and you have to select the standard order and you have to click OK. So it will give you the standard order that we have obtained from that we have created using the Excel. Same way I have created the central composite design using 3 factorial. So this is the design I have created in Excel. So this is standard 2 raised to 3 k factorial design that we have learned in the last lecture. So first we'll give the -1, -1, and then this is standard that I already explained in the last lecture. So it will, so that will give us the corner point. Now the extra point is the Excel point or star point and the center point. So as I mentioned in the 2 raised to 2 factorial design, how we can create this star point. So this point will give you the, suppose we want to generalize the design. So instead of writing the particular value, I will write the alpha, which is the rotationality factor. So suppose this is the x-axis, so or we can say the a variable. So a variable negative value and a variable positive value, and rest all others 0. Same way b variable negative value and positive value, c variable negative value and positive value, and the center point I have central combination I have taken the 6 repetition of that in order to improve the accuracy of model. Now we can create the same design in Minitab. Now let me show that thing. So you have to go to statistics, design of experiment, factorial, response of s variable. Now instead of 2 you have to just click 3 and they give you different design. So we select this first of 20 runs full factorial design. You have to just click OK, again click OK. You have to copy this data, copy this data in Excel file. Okay, now there is also same difference in here. There is a variation in the order, but this variation we can change it according to our convenience. It's a standard order. So here you can see that now the design that we obtain from the Minitab is same as that we produce in the Excel file. Same way I have created the 5 factorial design, but instead of producing 5 factorial in Minitab in Excel, what I did, I created 4 factorial design, and in order to get the variation with E, what I did, I just multiply the A, B, C, D, and I got the variable of E. So this will give you, instead of full factorial design, this will give you the half factorial design. Okay, now let me explain how we can create this design in detail. So what I did, this a up to here, up to this thing, uh, I simply did the same thing that we did for the 2 raised to 4 factorial design. So 2 raised to 4 will give you 16 different combinations. So I write it down that 16 combinations. And instead of doing full factorial design, I did the half factorial design. So in that, uh, I want to add the fifth variable, which is e. So in that, what I did, I uh, in the e variable I mm, did the multiplication of all these four, all this row, and this is a multiplication of all these four number. So minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1 will give you 1. Same way, the multiplication of this row will give you this column. Okay, and as we can see over here, the rotationality factor for the 4 and 5 factorial design, 4 and 5 variable will give you the rotationality factor 2. So that's why we have used 2 over here. So in order to calculate the star point, we did this. I did the same thing that we did in the over here and over here. So what I did in the of I consider the two extreme of the first variable and rest are the 0. Same way for the second variable, third variable, fourth variable, and fifth variable. And in order to calculate the in order to obtain the central node of central combination, I have taken the central point and I take the 6 repetition of the central combination. Okay, now I will explain how we can create the design, half factorial design in Minitab. Okay, so you have to follow the same thing, but there is only one difference. The response surface will create a response surface design. Instead of 3, we have 5 different variables, right? You can see over here A, B, C, D, and E. So I will take 5 and it will give a different combination of that. Okay, so I have to select the design. So we'll design half factorial design, which gives you the 32 runs and in one block only. So you have to just click OK after this. Now let me copy this data. And I copy this data in Excel. Now we can see over here. So 5 variable half factorial design will give you this kind of variable or this kind of data. So which is same as that we have created using that Excel data. Okay, so I hope you understand this thing. So I hope you understand how we can create a central composite design in Excel as well as in Minitab. Now we take one problem and solve that problem using the Minitab. Okay, so we have see in the first lecture this problem. So in that we have taken two variable, two level design. So these are result that I obtained from the analysis, and instead of two variable two level, here I have taken two variable 5 level design. So this will give you some different variation. So how we can obtain this graph using Excel, using Minitab, that I will explain now. So first we will create this, I will explain how we can obtain this graph and then we compare the solution of both. Okay, so you have to copy that data over here. Right. I think I'm not able to copy the data. Yeah, see, now I want to create that graph. So what you have to do, you have to go DOE, response surface, then create a design. Sorry, you have to go DOE. We can directly go to analyze. Then our factor is humidity and temperature. You have to select that. Then you have to check high and low. Then you have to click OK. Then you have to click comfort level as a response. You have to click OK. So from here we can find that ANOVA table, then regression equation. I don't want to explain because I already explained that thing in the previous explanation. So now in order to create a contour, you have to go to DOE, response surface, and create a contour. In contour, between what you want to create a contour. So our x variable is y temperature, x variable is temperature, y variable is humidity, and comfort response is comfort. So you have to click. So this is a contour that we obtain from the analysis, and same way we can create a surface. Okay, so this uh, contour and surface I have copy pasted over here. Now let me create this design, and then we will compare the both design and explain the result of that. Not able to copy the data. Oh, why? Yeah. Now instead of 2 level, here I have taken 5 different level. So you can see the 5 different value of temperature and 5 different value of humidity. Now we have to go to stat, DOE, response, analyze. Yes. So temperature and humidity is our factor. You have to check low and high. So low value of temperature is 56 and higher value of temperature is 84. And same for the humidity. Our low value is 12 and higher value is 69. So to just click OK, and comfort is our response variable. So you have to click OK on that. So this is a ANOVA table and regression equation that created. Now we have to go to contour plots. Temperature and humidity is our variable and comfort is our response. You have to just click OK. This is a block contour that I have created, and same way we can create this surface. So this both thing I have copied over here, and Now we can see, now we can compare this both thing. Okay, see here we found one particular value for the comfort, but here we can we found one range of value in which the human can feel more comfortable than other cases. And uh, if you plot in 3D, then here we can see over here that it will give one a plane surface, where here it will give us one contour one a surface which is not a plane. So here we can see that it will, instead of giving one particular value, it will give the value in one range. So instead of having one fixed value, it will give one range of value. So it, every time it's suppose we find one optimum value is 23.469. So uh, it's not possible to maintain the temperature at that particular value. So in order to optimize the value, we need one range of value in which we found the optimal solution. So that thing we can obtain, thing we can obtain when our level is more than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is. Okay, so I hope you understand the importance of level in design of experiment. Okay, uh, now we see the Volkswagen design of experiment. Here I have explained the central composite design. Now we will see the Volkswagen design. And after this I will tell you the difference, what is the difference between the Volkswagen design and Caesar design. Okay, so uh, here first thing is Volkswagen design cannot be used for the two level two variable design. It uh, its basic requirement for using Volkswagen design is at least we require a three variable. So here I have taken one example of three different variable. One is temperature, second is humidity, and third is the intensity of light. So, and I have also given three different level. One is the low, high, and other is the center. So 67 is the low level of temperature, 72 is the center level, and 77 is the high level. Same way I given other value too. Okay, now how we can create this Volkswagen design in Excel? Let me explain that thing, and then same thing we can obtain in the Minitab, that will explain later, and then we solve an example of Volkswagen design. So this is a design that I created of the Volkswagen. So let me copy this box over here so I can better visualize the things. Okay, so here I have shown this box. So what you have to do, you have to just select these points in the standard order, and that will give you the value of a different level and the different standard order. So first one is the this 0 minus 1 minus 1, or we can start from this point, we can start from uh, any random point we can start. But here I have what I did, I have taken the 2 raised to 2 factorial design and write it down over here, and the remaining box is filled with a 0 value. Same way this A value of copy over here, and B value copied over here, and C value copied over here. Same way this 2 value I copied over here, and first will become 0, and the center point I have repeated 3 times. So this way we can create a Volkswagen design. You just need place this coordinates in the form of the table. That's a thing you have to do. Now how we can create this thing in the Minitab. So you have to go to DOE, response surface, create a design. Now by default it will give us the central composite design, but now we have to select the box function design, and we have taken three variable. So three variable, and so it will give you a different availability with different factors. So initially we will take only 13. So you have to click OK. So this is a design created using box function. Now let me copy this data over here. Now you can see that is not in the standard order, so we will sort it out in the standard order. Now we can see it will give you exactly the same sets of combination that we have obtained, we have created just now. This is a -1 -1 0, is also -1 -1 0, +1 -1 0. Same way we can obtain this. Okay, now let me solve the box finger design in the Minitab. Okay, this is a created box function design with A, B, C, three different variable, and our comfort is our response variable. So you have to go to stat DOA. You have to create design, analyze. Sorry, our factor is A, B, C. Select low, high is selected, and then you have to press OK. Comfort is our response. You have to click OK. So this is a ANOVA table that I already explained, and this is surface that we need to see. In 3D contour surface, here we have three variable, but we cannot simultaneously plot all these three. So we have to select any two. So our main variable or most influencing variable is two, A and B, temperature and humidity. And lightning effect is not that much impact on the comfort level. So, but you can vary according to our requirement. If you want to know the effect of A and C, or A and B, or B and C, whatever you want to. So for the time being, we just see the, and so this is a surface that created using Minitab. So same way you can plot, same way you can design a box function design in Excel and Minitab, and from here you can see it's parabolically vary the parabolically. So it's also give you one range of response variable instead of giving the one fixed value. Okay, I hope you understand both box function design and central composite design, how we can create in Excel and Minitab. Now let me explain the comparison between these two. So here I have taken the comparative data for the, I have taken one example and uh, make the comparison between that box function design and CCT design. Okay, so this is a central point. So same data I have write in both in Celsius and Fahrenheit. So uh, our box function design have uh, three levels. So low level is 67, 72, and 77. So if we obtain the CCD design for the same three data, so axial low value will give the 67 into 1.67, that this value that we calculate over here. 1.6 818 over here. So we have to calculate, multiply 67 into 1 point, means the lower level of this, instead of that we have to take this point over here. So this will give you the axial low value is 62 and axial high value is 82. Okay, so we can see that, uh, so how we can obtain this value, let me explain again. So suppose this 62 is your 1.6818 value. Now you want to find the value of at 1. So based on that you have to just create that formula that, uh, suppose we don't know this value, then you have to just take a difference of that. That's 72 minus, 72 minus question mark divided by 72 minus 62 is equal to 1 by 1.68. Okay, so that will give you the 67 value. Okay, so from this we can see that, the 62 Fahrenheit will give you, or 16 Celsius will never give you the comfort. uh, okay, same way 27 degree will never give you the comfort. So uh, we know that this temperature will not give you us the comfort, although in CCD design we have to calculate and we have to conduct this experiment. So this way, CCD design will, this this way CCD design will, uh, give, CCD design will give some extra variable, and we have to deal more number of experiment, which is not uh, actually affect our results, or which will not give us the optimal solution. Okay, so but if we know that our response variable uh, will give the different, but if we know that our response variable is vary from any random value to some other value, so in that case CCD design will give us the better solution than the Volkswagen design. Okay, now till now we have seen that, only one response variable. But what if we have two different response variable and it is contradictory to each other? So now we'll see the multi-objective optimization thing. So let me take one example for that. Suppose we have two variable, one is temperature and other is the time, and we have two response, one is the yield and other is the viscosity. So we know that with increasing temperature, the yield value will decrease and viscosity will increase. So in that case, in order to optimize the both response variables simultaneously, how we can approach the problem in the Minitab. Now I will explain that thing. Okay, now you have to go to stat DOE response surface, analyze the design. Yes, so our variable is time and temperature. You have to select that. Then this low and high value I have already taken. Then response is yield and viscosity. You have to, sorry, you have to, sorry, I have to do it again. I think I messed it up. So let me copy it again. Statistic, DOE, response, analyze, yes. select, okay, 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 select, okay. So there is a ANOVA table. I don't want to explain it now. Now I want to simultaneously optimize both responses and the variable. So I just have to do that. What is the value? So our viscosity value is somewhere near about 65. So we can give one range of that, which is 63 to 67, and yield value is near to about 80. So we can write 79, that is 80. Okay, let me just click OK. So this is a plot I have created. So from this graph you cannot find the optimum value. You can find one range of optimum values. So let me give you the how we can create a optimum value. So we have a target value of this is 65, and yield we need to maximize. Okay, setup. Okay, I think everything is need to, yeah. So this is another value. Now this both thing I have copied over here. So this first circle will give you the yield value. So below, inside, when we move inside this center to the center of this circle, the yield value will increase, and if we move away from this circle, the yield value will decrease. So optimized yield value is somewhere around between these two circles. And for the viscosity, if you move outside of this thing, so the viscosity will decrease, and if you move in this direction, viscosity will increase. So in this range, we will get the optimum value of viscosity. So what is that optimum value that we found from here? So at a 77.93 second and temperature is when 179, we find the viscosity value is 65 and maximum yield is 75. So this way we can create a multi-objective optimization in Minitab by simply follow 2-3 simple steps. I hope you understand the whole thing that I explained, and thank you.